Hello there and welcome. My name is Linda and this is my channel Linda T70. It's really good to have your company today. Warm welcome if you've just happened to have found my channel and you're new. I hope you like my videos, and if you are one of my lovely regulars and subscribers, a big warm welcome back to you as well. Thank you all so much for the response from my last video. What a marathon that must have been to watch, if indeed you watched all of it. Well, it was over an hour long and I didn't realise that was not my goal at all. I recorded the video in obviously, you could tell in little bits and pieces, and each bit that I did seemed really short, so I thought, oh, it might be about 45 minutes or something, but it was much longer than that. So if you watched all of it, thank you so much. And I got positive response from it, so perhaps my day isn't as boring as I think it is really. So thank you so much for that. So today's video, I don't really have one particular topic to talk about. I haven't done anything particularly exciting since I last saw you. I have I don't know how really to show, well, maybe I'll show it to you another time, but you know, I was talking last time about sorting out my bedroom a bit better, and my this room that I do my videoing in, which is a multi-function room. You can see there's a bed in the background there, so it's a bedroom. It's where I do my colouring and my Lego. There's a TV here I can sit and watch and just get on with things while, if Spurs are playing or something. Current husband at the weekend, he put a new worktop over the desk and all the other paraphernalia, so I've got a lovely level surface now, so I've got more room when I get my sewing machine out to do stuff on that, which I will do at some point. That is in my plan. It will look, it's just easier to have a flat level surface rather than a small one where you know what I mean, where things drop on the floor, you keep knocking things over. So I've just moved a few bits around in here. If I think of it, I'll do a little show you thing at the end, and you can see what I've done or what we've done. First of all, my hair is really absolutely bugging me to death. I've got an appointment to get it cut next week, but I can't stand it. I don't know what's going on here. I've just washed it because I didn't want to look like a complete and utter mess when I was doing my video for you. But it's just getting so long. I know people will be watching this and thinking, your hair's not long, dear, your hair's not long. But it is for me. And I've been trying to chop bits off my fringe, because I've got this fringe that, if you I can't see what I'm doing. Where'd you go? It sort of flicks at the side when it gets longer, and it bounces off my glasses, and I just look a bit mad. And so I've chopped bits off, but it doesn't seem to be any shorter. I can't really work out what's going on. But I've got an appointment for a week's time. Well, it's just a bit over a week. And I've bought some. I went to Asda this morning, and one of the things I got while I was in there was some more hair dye. So this is the one I use. This is a Clairol Nice and Easy oil infused colour, and the shade I use, if you are interested, is Light Ash Blonde. And I used to dye my hair quite a bit lighter than this, but oh, I've got a broken box. Look at that. I don't know. But it was just, I just thought it's more aging, I think, than perhaps a warmer colour. I don't know if this is a warm colour. I don't know. People say things like that, don't they? They say, oh, this is a warm colour, but I never can do. I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at judging colours, as you might well have noticed. But yes, so I've got my hair cut next week, so I think I'll probably do my roots after that. Then there's less hair to dye, isn't there? I mean, it's common sense, isn't it? But it's the 25th of October she cut my hair last time. So 25th of October, November, December, and we're the 20th of January. So that's 11 weeks, isn't it? That's ages. I can't actually see the roots, but you probably can. They must have come through. I must have a fair bit of regrowth there. I don't know. Anyway, so that's a job for me before I get my hair cut. And also when I was in house, nothing interesting really. I bought some body cream stuff. Isn't this stuff blimmin' expensive? It's just one of those things that creeps up and you don't really notice. I mean, I would have said, I know if you go for fancy brands like Garnier or whatever, that obviously have gold dust in them, those bottles of that cost quite a lot. But this was the cheapest thing I could find because I thought, well, my skin's beyond much hope anyway. This is Dove Body Love, a 48-hour nutrition. Oh, no, hang on. No, I can't read. 48-hour moisturisation. Not really nutrition, is it? Essential care with glycerin. Enrich and hydrate from first use. So we'll have to see how we go with that. This was £3 something. And I thought, well, I don't mind paying that. I don't mind paying a £5, but some of them were £8, £10. And I thought, blimmin' heck. So anyway, I'm going to give that a go. I've got a really sore leg. I think I told you in my last video that I fell over the bottom of the bed here. I had my box that I keep my shoes in, and it's really quite, well, I was going to say it's got very rigid sides. Boxes have, haven't they? And I don't know what I did. I twisted round and I just I got my foot caught in something and I just went down on the carpet. I didn't hurt myself apart from my shin, and it still really hurts. And I found another massive bruise as well. I don't know, I'm so delicate. Anyway, I keep going, don't I? But I've noticed when I rub cream on my legs how sore it is. So it's all bruised and gone yellowy now, which is delightful. So anyway, hopefully I haven't done any permanent damage. I can still do the can anyway. And I also bought some shampoo. I went with the Dove again. This one just happens to be a daily moisture shampoo. I don't know if you remember, going back a while, if you've watched me for a while, I had some dry patches in my hair. And I was asking you for recommendations of things to use. And I've had this in the past, and I've noticed that if I've had it at times of sort of stressful times, you know, over a period of time, there's been stressful things going on. Nothing in the scheme of things, but, you know, stressful for me. My skin suffers, and because I'm such a delicate flower. And so I had this patch of really flaky skin here, which when you've got a fringe, it's not the end of the world because it covers, you know, cover it up. But it's just not very nice. And I'd used all sorts. I was using basically dandruff shampoos. So I tried Head and Shoulders. I tried Vosine, which I've used in the past because this has happened to me over the years quite a lot. And I'd normally buy tea gel shampoo, but I thought, well, I'll just try something a bit gentler in case it wasn't, you know, I don't know, you don't know what it was that was causing it. And I thought it might be something other than what I've had before. And I really wasted my money on all these things. Somebody suggested shampoo with I think it was argan oil in it, which was already in one of the shampoos I was using. I tried, there's various different sorts of tea gel shampoo, and I love the smell of that because it smells of creosote, you know, that sort of coal tar. I like that smell. Fortunately, I do. Go around smelling like a garden fence. Yeah, so there's a milder one you can use, and I used that and it didn't really help, but I used the Old Faithful one that's like a sort of almost brown treacly stuff, and it seems to have got a lot better, and well, basically it's disappeared now, so that's all good. So I don't know why I told you all that, but This is just a normal shampoo, so I'm going in with using just a regular shampoo, and then every now and again going in for one that's a bit more for problem skin. So yeah, that cleared up quite well, so I was pleased with that. I also just got some tissues while I was in there. I got some bread, nothing else of any interest. There was another thing I was going to tell you. Hang on a sec. Yeah, when I was in Asda, I was looking at the clothes because I thought, come on, Linda, we've got to do a blooming clothing haul soon. And I was met with a wall of disappointment again. But I did actually find a couple of tops that I liked. And had it not been for there being a big old queue at the tills, because I don't really like the self-checkout thing, I probably would have, I would have bought them. But I thought I'll order them online. So there were two tops that I saw. And tops are quite useful for me. They did have lots of stock in there. They had dresses that I looked on their website yesterday, and a bit like when I went into a shop last week and I was saying to you, sometimes you look on a website and you're not very inspired, but you could potentially go into the store itself and see something and then you just think, ooh, that's rather nice. But it didn't really happen this time. There were lots of dresses that all looked kind of the same as what was out last year, you know, with the sort of frills, or with like what I call an empire line dress and whatever. But then I don't have a lot of reason to wear dresses unless it's the summer and, you know, it's hot, then you want a dress. But the rest of the time I just sort of schlep about in jeans or leggings or something, and tops. So tops are kind of the thing I look for, really. But I will order them. I'll go on this afternoon and see if I can find them and order them, and hopefully they'll arrive soon if they've got stock in my size, and we can have a look next time. The other thing I was going to talk to you about was the Blue Monday thing, because I said to my daughter yesterday, one of my daughters, I said, oh, what shall I talk about in the video tomorrow, because I didn't really have much of an idea. And she said, well, it's Blue Monday today, why don't you talk about you know, how everyone's anxious and sad and depressed. And I thought, well, that'll be a jolly old video, won't it? You'll all be clamouring to watch that. But I thought it's a fair point, and I actually spoke to my other daughter earlier, and I was just having this conversation with her, and she was pointing out that maybe I could mention some ways of you feeling, you know, to try and make yourself feel better. So I thought, well, I will. I'll chuck it in just for the crack, because I know I'm not really somebody that's, well, I can't give anybody advice on anxiety and depression, but I can tell you how I relate with these sorts of things, and if any of it like resonates with you, because I think that's what we like to do on this channel, don't we? We have a little chat, and then it brings a few things to the surface, and we have a little conversation about them, albeit only a few of you, because, you know, I'm not getting every subscriber or every viewer talking to me, but it's still nice to do. And I know that other people read your comments, all the comments I get, and it's nice. Sometimes you have little conversations between yourself, and I think that's really quite sweet. But I would say I've been in the fortunate situation where I've never had depression, and I would say I get anxious in situations, and I am shy. So they have been my demons, really. The shyness is not a good thing, and I've always been told in my life, sorry, I'm just moving my, sorry, in my life, and I've said to a person, oh, well, I'm really shy, and they always say, oh, no, you're not, you're always this and you're always that. And when I think back to how I was, not so much as a child, I don't think I noticed it particularly, or if I did, I can't really remember, but as an adolescent and older, it's quite a debilitating thing, shyness. And I still have, I'm much better now than I used to be, but there are still situations where the confidence doesn't come to the front, and I would, oh, got my fox again. You must know when I'm recording my videos. I think I will get someone like current husband, for example, or my previous husband, or if I'm with a confident friend, I will get them to maybe do something for me. I've always sort of feared being doing the wrong thing, I suppose, and being being the centre of attention, but for the wrong reasons. And I don't know, it's all a bit complex, and it's probably a bit deep for this channel today, but I know what it feels like to be shy, and I know what anxiety feels like. I don't mean as an illness, I just mean the way that my brain works, and I worry about things, and I overthink things, and things are always in my brain, they're always far worse. They're leading up to something. For example, if I have to go somewhere, supposing somebody said to me, right, tomorrow you've got to go and meet somebody at a building near King's Cross Station, and then I'd have to start planning in my brain the journey to get there, and but the anxiety would come in of being in the right place at the right time, finding a seat on the train, knowing when to get off, knowing how things like machines, like before you even get on the train, using if you haven't got a person that you can go up to, ask for a ticket and pay them, if you've got to use a machine for something, they give me a lot of anxiety. So having to QR codes, all the things I talk about on this channel that I loathe, and it's all a source of anxiety to me. And I cope, and I make myself do things I'm not comfortable with doing, because you have to, because there's not always someone there to do it for you. I had a period of time between husbands, when I was between husbands, when I had a boyfriend, but I didn't live with him, so I became more independent and confident then, I think, because I had to do everything for myself. Now these days, unless I can help it, I don't put petrol in my car. Current husband does it for me, because it's a machine I have to use. Now I know that sounds ridiculous, and I'm quite fully aware it's ridiculous, but when I didn't have a person that I was living with that was quite happy to go and do it for me, I used to go and do it myself, and I didn't worry about it. But I did used to go to the same petrol station all the time and use the same pump. I don't know, mad, isn't it? So we're all a bit mad, really, especially me. But then in other things, I'm not bothered at all. So it's but it's coping with these things, isn't it? And making your life easier. So the thing with the anxiety for me about getting to the building near King's Cross Station, once I'm on the bus to the station, or in the taxi to the station, or at the station, and I bought my ticket, you have to take things in bite-sized pieces, and I always find, with very few exceptions, unless I have one of my typical Linda disasters, but then I just have to laugh about those, is that things in reality are never as bad as in your brain. Your brain's making out of all the things that could possibly go wrong. And it's like when you have a baby, isn't it? And it's never quite the same, is it, with the worrying about it? You worry by proxy, because having a baby, and you've got this thing, you bring it home from hospital, well, this baby, you bring it home from hospital, and then it's up to you. You've got to keep it alive, haven't you? Because it's frowned on if you don't. So you have to feed it, and it might not want to be fed when you want to feed it, or it might be, you want it to sleep, but it won't want to sleep when you want it. You're out of control with it, really. But you have to be the one step ahead once you get into the routine with a child. You have to be one step ahead, and you have to think, right, this could happen or that could happen. And you know, for example, if you take it to the park, I'm always thinking, well, what if they tripped over that, or whatever. And I think that rationally, I think back to when I was a child, and I did all those things, and I used to fall over and cut my knees, and I fortunately didn't ever break any bones or anything, but I was a bit of a wuss of a child. I never used to be a daredevil, but you know, and you fall over and you cry and whatever, and but you're all right. You live, you grow up, and then you know you live your life. So it's but it's worrying now. And when I had my daughter, my first child, I was much more worried about her, what she did, where she went, than when I had my second child. I mean, I remember when my daughter first told me she was going into town on her own on a bus, and I thought, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And but she did it. She went with her friends, because I did it when, I mean, I used to go all over the place when I was a kid. I would go to visit from where I lived, Boreham Wood in Hertfordshire. I would go into London, get the train, and I've done it on my own when I was sort of 12, 13, 14, with a couple of my girlfriends who were the same age as me, and we'd go on a train to Southend because my auntie lived there, and we used to go and visit her, and then we'd go round the Kurzel and whatever. We get on the train and we come back again. So, you know, when I was doing it myself, there wasn't a fear there. But then when my daughter wanted to get on a bus and go 4 miles into town or whatever it was, with her friends, I was absolutely panic stricken. But she did it, and this was before we all had phones, mobile phones. Of course, you've got that now, which is easier. And then when my son got to do the same thing, I wasn't so worried about him, because, and it wasn't because he was a boy, he was still my child, it was just because you'd been there before, and you know, but yeah, but you just kind of, the anxiousness manifests itself in different ways. I do have family members who've suffered or do suffer from depressive illness, and I understand how awful that is, and there's nothing I can do or say that, you know, to help anyone with that, because that is something where you've got a chemical imbalance in your brain and you need proper help, rather than people saying, oh, cheer up, it might never happen, don't you? But yeah, we coping with feeling miserable. I actually, I suppose it's fortunate for me, because I don't really, the dark evenings and the bad weather don't really bring my mood down, I don't think. I quite like it when I like the don't get me wrong, I like the spring. Spring's my favourite, I think, my favourite season, because everything's coming back new, and it's getting lighter in the evenings. And then we have summer, which is probably my least favourite season. I don't even know why, really, especially if it's absolutely relentlessly baking hot. I like it to be kind of middling, but then I think I'm probably in the minority there. But the long evenings are lovely, but then I don't mind the dark evenings either, because I think that's kind of cosy. I mean, when you're working and stuff and you've got to drive home in the dark, it's not much fun, but, you know, it doesn't really pain me too much. It never did anyway, and it still doesn't. I just shut the curtains, and you put something nice and comforting on the telly if you can find something. My daughter said, oh, why don't you suggest some nice TV programmes? And I said, well, I did that last week. So I can always do that in future if you want me to suggest any more. But yeah, so it's a question of, you know, and also these people that decide, you know, we talked about New Year's resolutions before, and a lot of people do that, and it always involves, you know, I don't care what you say, it nearly always involves losing weight and getting fitter, and that is great. you know, if people, I don't have any problem with people losing weight and getting fitter. I'd like to be like that myself. But it's the worst time of year really to go out and start, you know, to decrease your intake of wholesome food and going out to the gym in first thing in the morning, last thing at night, when there's lots of viruses and illnesses around. I mean, flu figures are terrible this year, aren't they? I know that's mainly with older people, but yeah, I mean, give yourselves a break. Start it when everybody's feeling a bit more upbeat about things. Anyway, so that's kind of it. I don't think I've cheered anyone up there, but it's I do get it. I do get anxiety, but I think it's a way you view things. If you think, I always think once Christmas is gone, and I like the lead up to Christmas. Christmas is my favourite season. So I would say from September. Now you've got the summer out of the way, and summer's usually a disappointment, isn't it, if you live in the UK? So then you've got September and it's school going back time, and I used to like that when I was a child. When I went to school, I used to look forward to September. I was never particularly academic at school, but I quite liked the camaraderie of school, and I had some good friends at school, so I used to enjoy going back, and I quite liked certain subjects. Some I was rubbish at, like any kid, but you know, my time at school I pretty much enjoyed, and then of course then it was my birthday in October. That was always something that was exciting when I was a kid, like anybody. And then you get the lead up to Christmas, and then all the dark nights don't matter so much then, do they, when you've got all the twinkly lights everywhere and people have got Christmas trees outside and that. It's the bit when you get to January and all the decors come down. But the thing you've got to remember is every day is getting longer, and even now I'm noticing we're on I think we're 21st of it's actually Tuesday today, the 21st of January, and I think it was nearly 5 o'clock last night when it got dark, and I thought, blimey, that's crept up on us. I did look at the time and try and remember it. It might not have been that, but it was substantially later than it has been. So we're just getting there, and I've got some bulbs in the garden that are coming through. So I like to think of it like that, the new beginning. And I know people have other sorts of stuff going on in their lives, like illness and financial troubles and everything. And I can't really assist with any of that, but you know, let's all, and you can always watch my channel, and and we have a little bit of a giggle here. I mean, honest to God, me and those knives last week, I tried to explain it to current husband, but he didn't really get it. I said, oh, you had to be there, but buying those knives, I thought, oh, well, anyway, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll have to watch my previous video. I'm just such an idiot. The other thing I thought I'd talk about actually before I go today was on this subscribing situation. I was having to think about this the other day, because I feel quite happy. Well, I say quite happy. I don't want to sound like I can't do anything better, but I quite like the way my channel is as far as content goes, and a lot of you seem to as well. So if you're new, I'm plus size, I'm 71, so I'm appealing to, this is why I started my channel, was because I couldn't find all that many channels, and certainly not you people from the UK. There were lots of American ladies out there, older ladies. There's a lot of over 50s, but there wasn't very many, or there weren't very many that I could find who were plus size and over 70. So that's why I thought, oh well, I'll have a dip in here. So it turns out I don't really do a lot of fashion anyway, but I do it when I can. But I know that we chat about all sorts of things, and we have a little bit of a giggle, don't we, from time to time, because I'm always doing stupid things. But yeah, but the one thing, before I started my channel, I used to watch YouTube. My daughter got me into it. I think it was just before lockdown, because she used to watch it. and she'd say, oh, have you watched this person or that person? And so I did used to watch the videos, but I hadn't registered with YouTube, which is, so I used to try and subscribe to people or even comment on one or two. I mean, I don't do that very often, generally speaking, but I didn't really feel very confident. There you go, confidence, to do it. So and then I did try, and I couldn't work out how to do it. So I thought, if there's any of you out there that are like me, and I'm talking about probably the older ones among you, because if you're like 50 or I don't know, maybe even 60, because you're very young, maybe you're a bit more kind of literate with all these things, but I wasn't until my other daughter showed me how to do it, and she actually set me up. I've had a couple of people since then, certainly one of my friends who started watching my channel, and she couldn't work out how to subscribe. So I thought, if I show you basically what you need to do, because I'm wondering if I've got people who would like to, because subscribing to channels is good for somebody like me, because the algorithms in YouTube are such that the more subscribers you've got, the more your video will get pushed out for other people to watch, and you can spread your particular brand of joy a little further. And I've been stuck on the same amount of subscribers for quite a long time, and they, like I said before, you know, they go, my subscribers go up and down like a cool girl's skirt. I mean, it's just ridiculous, and they don't sort of seem to improve. Now, I don't know if that's because some people don't know how to subscribe, so I thought I'd just show you. Now, you know, if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it, but it's quite easy. So I thought if I showed you on my laptop, because I do everything on my laptop, the only thing I do, if my phone is my portable internet or my portable communication thing, obviously, because it's a mobile phone. But so I mean, if I'm, for example, so I've got YouTube on my phone. This is my account. So I've got all my apps and things for doing stuff that, so if, for example, if I'm sitting watching the telly and I'm watching an old Top of the Pops, I want to know how old Debbie Harry is, I'll go onto the Google and I'll do it on my phone. But anything else, you know, if I'm ordering clothing or shopping or anything like that, I do everything on my laptop. That's just the way I do it. I know most people use tablets or phones, but I'm just old-fashioned. But so I thought if I just show you this, and then if you want to subscribe to not just me, although I hope you do, if you want to subscribe to other people or have conversations with them, because that's the thing, it's nice to just have a chat with people. It kind of brings them to life a bit. So I just wanted to show you. So if you go to Google, now YouTube is owned by Google, so we have to put that out there first. So this is just on my laptop. That just happens to be, whoops, my channel. And that's this sort of band thing that you put on. So if you go to this corner here, I don't know if I can show you this very well. Okay, in the top, where are we? Top right hand, top right hand. Now, can you see that little round picture of me, which is my profile picture? That's because this is my channel. But if you do it on your laptop or your tablet, there will just be a little sort of, there'll be a circle with a little sort of skittle type person in the middle of it. And what you have to do is you go onto that. I can't show you because I'm already on here, and I don't really want to come out of my channel to, or out of my channel to go back in again in case I forget the password. So basically, if you've got a Gmail account, a Google Mail account, you could just click onto that little skittle figure that's in the circle on the top right hand side of the screen, and you can put your email address in and your password, which it will probably recognise your password from, because all of the Google things seem to talk to each other. And then you can sign in. So you need to register with YouTube to be able to, as far as I know, I might be telling you wrong, but I don't think so. You have to register with YouTube to be able to subscribe to people and to comment on their videos. So once you do that, it's all pretty easy. You don't have to have a Gmail or a Google Mail email account. You can, if you've got Hotmail or Yahoo or any of the others, you can still use it, but you just have to make up another password, I believe. So, and I hope I'm not being condescending telling you this, it's just that I didn't know. And you don't know things until someone tells you, do they? And unless, you know, maybe you've had a mess about and you've worked it out for yourself. But if you'd like to be able to chat to me or anybody else, that's the way to do it. So yeah, give it a go. And if I'm not clear and you want to ask me anything, just ask me. Oh, you can't. I was going to say ask me in the comments, but you can't if you're not registered. But if you've got anybody that's under 60, you know, they'll probably be able to do it. It's just old farts like me that didn't really know what I was doing. But yeah, so and as I say, it's not just me, it's anybody that you because I think I didn't speak to anyone for ages, and it was only really since I've had my own channel that I have actually spoken to people. But you get it's quite nice anyway. And as I say, on my channel, I'm speaking for my channel on this bit, we've got a nice little community going, and yeah, it'd be nice to have some more people. So if you'd like to do that, so go on to just put YouTube in the search engine, whatever your search engine is, and when it comes up, the little round circle that's got like a little skittle man in the do you know what I mean? Just it's a stylized picture of a person, you know. It's obvious when you see it, and then just click on that and put your information in. So if you've got a Gmail account, it's even easier. If you've got another email address that isn't Google, just put that in, and you might have to make up a password. They might ask you a couple of questions, but it's, you know, it's nothing too bad. So anyway, see how you get on with that. Let me think, have I got everything on my list? Shirt, right, I will put this shirt on and I'll show you, so you can see what that looks like. So I'll be back in a sec. Right, I've not pressed it or anything. Let me just move the arm thing down. Oh, sorry, creak. Need some 3-in-1 for this, don't I? Right, so obviously button through. I quite like the length on the behind. Covers your butt. This is actually, excuse me a minute. This is actually an Evans branded shirt. It's sort of cream to beige with a black spot on it. It's quite a substantial fabric. I imagine it's polyester. Everything's polyester, isn't it? Let's have a look. Viscose. Cheap and cheerful fabric, I suppose. Yeah, so this is Evans, and I forgot to mention this when I showed it to you the other day. I was speaking to the girl in Yours, because I bought this in our Yours store in town, and I said there's one or two things. They've got one stand in the shop that's got Evans things on it. Now I thought, I mean, obviously Evans used to be on the high street, and then of course, like all the other plus size shops, they decided to get rid of them all, so you could only buy stuff online. And the I saw another YouTuber has spoken about Evans, another plus size YouTuber, and she said that they'd been bought out. I'm sure she said had been bought out by an Australian company. And whether that's true or not, but the lady, I said this to the lady in yours, and she said no, that wasn't correct. She said that the owner of yours clothing has recently bought out Evans, bought the brand, and what they're doing is they're selling through all, you might all know this, I don't know, but they're selling through excuse me, all of the old Evans stock, including the shoes, and they're going to then bring in more stock that's Evans branded. Now I took her to mean that it would probably be, because I said, is it going to be the same buyers and whatever, and she didn't really know, so I took it to mean rather than Evans being a different, because it was always a bit different, I thought, to yours style of clothing. You know, some of it was better, some of it wasn't, but basically I would imagine that yours is just going to sell a particular amount under the heading Evans, and it'll just be the same buyers choosing it. So I don't know what it's going to be like, but I did quite like this. There are a couple of dresses in there on the same stand that was Evans branded, and I didn't like those at all. But they did have a couple of nice pairs of shoes in there, and when she said about the because I think Evans shoes are quite nice styles, and so she said that when she said that some of the shoes were, they bought the shoes as well, I could see that that's probably why they were a bit nicer. But anyway, there you go. Right, excuse me. That's everything for now. It's gone 3 o'clock now, so I need to get this video up today, so I'm going to go off and do this. Just before I go, I know I said I'd do a video about stepchildren or being a step parent, and I'm not sure whether it's a good idea or not, because I don't know. I can only tell you my experience, which isn't a particularly bad experience, and I don't know whether more of you need something with a bit more black and white to it rather than a bit more. Mine's a kind of beige experience, so if you still want me to do it, I will, but I don't want to give the, you know, I don't want to come on and say, oh yes, it's all wonderful and you'll never have any problems. I mean, it's not been like that for us. There have been the occasional thing, because that's life, isn't it? But if you still want me to do it, I know not all of you you know, care really, but some of you have mentioned it, so if those people still want me to do it, just pop it in the comments if you can register, and I will have a chat with you about it. Right, good to have your company. See you again soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye for now.